What's going on, Fortnite fam? This week in Fortnite competitive was an absolute banger. Peterbot and Pollo continue where they left off. Clix and Higgs get folded like a table. Rapid and Threats show up big. You even have the solo series going on in week 2. Those results are in, and some duos already changing things up. There's so much to go over this week, so let's get right into it. We're gonna go ahead and start off with a finals on Central. This time around on stream, instead of casting it all, I got a chance to sit in a call with Ozzy and Muzz, a whole different world and perspective when watching these tournaments, and we saw for the first 2 games Clix and Higgs looking like what could be the team to beat. And I know leading up to this, Higgs playing with a couple of different players, almost winning in the eval finals, almost performing the #1 in these reload cups. So to me, he's looking like a great IGL for duos. Him and Clix ended up winning the first 2 games, 4 eliminations and 5, but that's when disaster struck, to be quite honest. Peterbot in 3rd place at this time decided to start to land on Clix and Higgs. Although in game 3 it didn't work out the way that he hoped or even planned. He ended up in 25th place. Clix and Higgs ended up in 10th place. That didn't deter them from starting and keeping that fight going. But it was in game 4 where that play happened. I think everybody has seen it by now. Peterbot was chased deep into Storm by Clix and Higgs in a 2v1 scenario. And well, instead of talking about it, let's roll the clip. Okay.
Uh-oh. Good angle, bro. Imagine Pete wins this.
No winning this.
Yeah, I don't think there's any winning this. Almost anyone else, I'm not even questioning whether it might happen, but the slide coin gives me a bit of hope too. Slide coin, double pump, and Pete are the only reasons why I think this might even be possible.
He is moving.
I think he has to reload his pump. Yeah, he has 1 pump shot.
I mean, he's got time. Oh, he's playing this so well.
Oh my god.
189. No, you can't lose it now. We did the hard part. Now's the easy part.
No.
Oh my god, no way.
The movement.
He has no mats.
He has no mats. Oh my god. Outside the door. Just hit the bump. I want to see Pete win this just cause.
Oh my, gets Clix! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
What? From here on out, it seemed like Clix and Higgs struggled for the rest of the tournament. They failed to get inside of the top 10 for the rest of the games, and it just seemed like they were on a downward spiral from there on out. Meanwhile, Peterbot and Pollo did what they did best. They ended up getting enough points to be only 25 or so down going into game 6. It was Rapid and Threats who were slowly but steady climbing up that leaderboard, where they eventually took that 1st place spot away from every other team and led into the final game. Just unfortunately enough for them, they went down a little bit too early. Very, very minimal points, which led kind of the usual rerun of the Peterbot and Pollo show, where they get just enough eliminations combined with the perfect placement to take the game. It was only a 5-point win for Peterbot and Pollo this time around, and it makes you wonder, are the shenanigans costing them placement points? Yes, they're still picking up eliminations, but in some of these games, when they start to do these tactics, they start to kind of place lower and lower on that leaderboard than you would expect them to. Will that continue going into the rest of the season, into next year, into grand finals? Who knows? It seems to be the Peterbot and Pollo playstyle as of now, but like I said, Rapid and Threats, they've been having a phenomenal tournament. Honestly, Threats in general, since not qualifying for the global championship, he's been playing like he has a chip on his shoulder or even something to prove. I'm very excited to see the rest of this team, Threats and Rapid, perform for the rest of the divisional cups, and hopefully they continue on to play FNCS together. Some other teams that were doing real, Acorn and Bolts popped off in the last game of the day. They got the win, and they moved up to 3rd place overall on the leaderboard. You got to go ahead and look at that 33rd place 0-point game that they did have. Imagine what the difference that could have been. They would have been in a hunt for 1st place going into that last game, and maybe even taking it overall, proving that maybe Acorn is in doubt one of the best IGLs the region has ever seen. Some other notable teams to go ahead and place at the top of the leaderboard is going to be Iamzo and Agers. And this one deserves all the credit in the world. 4th place overall on the leaderboard with only 2 games inside of the top 10. They were consistent, but consistently outside of the major placement points, but still ending up in 4th place just means to me, even when they're not playing 100%, they're a threat in the lobby. Now imagine when they are playing at 100%. The elite boys, Iamzo and Agers, I'm going to be looking at them for one of our star teams. Some other teams making it in though: G Money and Rise, Taki and Vert, Clix and Higgs fell all the way down that leaderboard for the second half of the day. I wonder if their mental was shot, maybe just too emotional. I mean, there's only so much I could speculate on without talking to them directly, but that's just got to be the theme of it all so far. If they somehow lose those fights, the contested fights, getting hunted down, they kind of end up in a downward spiral. Blake and Zen, this team was a huge surprise. They were on track to take the tournament, to place top 3, but in the last games of the day, they lost crucial fights to former teammate Oliver OG and Rezi, who's seemingly turning out to be the new star of the show, the new young gun that players are saying this guy is cracked. He has the moves. If you just pair him with a nice IGL, Oliver OG, we can see some true potential out of them, but they ended the Blake and Zen run. Blake instantly shut off his stream. Zen, well, he left his room. He needed a break. He needed to cool off. These guys want nothing more than to win. They don't necessarily care about the money down the leaderboard, because that 1st place spot comes with more than just that money. It comes with the bragging rights, which I know they're after. And to round out the top 10, Kanata and Cooper, and then Noxy and Mason. Noxy and Mason making deep into one of those games, multiple games I should say, which kind of robbing Muzz from a spot which I'll talk about more later when we get to NA West. NA West, we saw a new team rise to the top, Zyro and Manny. They deserve their flowers. They ended up getting 1st place overall. Even when they went down early in game 6, they played so well. They had almost a 100-point lead going into that final game, so going down early wasn't too much of a worry for them. They still locked in that top spot, and well deserved as well. So we're going to go ahead and continue to look down that list and give a shout out to School and Dark. We got Retro and B-Dog, who also kept it relatively close. B-Dog also interrupting some of those high fights, which was super messy, super contested throughout the day. They were picking up key eliminations on their way to that top spot on the leaderboard, so you got to give them all the credit in the world. As we continue to look down, though, on that leaderboard, I said Muzz, well, he wasn't able to play the start of this tournament. He's only got to play 3 games because of how well Noxy was playing on Central, but Muzz and Noxy, along with Iamzo and Agers, getting 11th and 12th spot, only playing out 3 games. So to me, NA West as a region, we still got more to do. We still got to be able to pick up the pace to take on some of the best teams in NA in general, but I do like how they are performing and getting those NA teams outside of the top 10, even though they only play half as many games. But I want to see the region as a whole continue to play into the meta, maybe take some notes, watch a little bit more Central, figure out the strategy, and try to implement it into their own games. Unlike trios, there's a little bit less surge trading that does go around in duos, which I'm excited for, but I still want to see teams keep themselves ahead of the curve, because when grand finals does roll around for FNCS, you are going to have some stack lobbies where surge will play a role. So why not start to find that style of play here in the divisional finals instead of wasting all these perfect opportunities to play against some of the best teams in your region, and some not, including Central on that region as well. A good huge shout out though as well to Ark and Blood Gangsta. Ark not playing with Kanata this time around, but Blood Gangsta and him, along with Mero and Haju, they performed inconsistent. They have great moments, but then they had low moments, but due to that inconsistency, they fell down to the leaderboard 16th and 7th place, but they're not the only teams ailing that consistency. Baka and Pars, the Major 1 and the Major 2 champions, ended up in 19th place. There was triple contested, double contested. I don't know what was going on with the Hive this time around in this week's finals, but it was messy as can be. Very few teams on that side of the map even performed well to get inside of the top 10. Minute and Velo, another team that didn't have the best performance that you would think, but I think this is also a good moment. Have a bad week, shake it off, come back stronger next time, because this is still that transition. NA West came back, but came back directly into trios. Now they've got to start to find that form, find that perfect fit for duos, and I think NA West will kind of be all right. But some new duos already in the mix. We know the Arcs, we know the Kanata, we saw the eval finals where they took down Clix and Higgs. They're fighting for the same drop spot over at the OXR HQ, but the Booga saga continues. Playing with Craze, contested, they don't perform well. Well, he drops Craze. He ends up with Reet. Or he ends up with Muzz, excuse me there. And then guess what? He drops Muzz. He ends up with Reet. And Reet's like, no, I don't want a contested fight. Reet drops Booga, ends up with Muzz. Now they're over at the Resistance base. So roster mania is already here. Obviously, you know, our top teams, the Clix, the Higgs, the Amzo Agers, the Peterbots, the Pollos, may not necessarily change, but everybody down that ladder might be subject to roster mania. Let me know what some of the teams that have already formed that are your favorite, but let me know what some teams that maybe you're hoping get hit with the roster mania hurricane. Solo series is here though for both of these regions. After 2 weeks of play, already you're seeing the players that are kind of forming that accolades, that stature, that prominence to be in the solo series finals at the end of 6 weeks. Because remember, it is 6 weeks of play with only your 4 best weeks counting. Peterbot again takes the top of the leaderboard, Rapid taking 2. So just like the divisional finals, Peterbot and Rapid first and second. A surprise in third place though, Ritual. A lot of people looking at their trios run saying he's the weakest fighter, but still ends up in third place, and that one to me was a little bit of a surprise, but not at the same time, because he is a great IGL. He knows to traverse a lot of the confusion and the chaos that goes down in the mid to late game, so I expect to see him playing in the finals as well, with Pollo and Clix rounding out the top 5 for this week's solo series. I expect all of these guys to make that solo series final and make it really interesting. It's just about who else. I want to know from you guys, who else do you guys think we'll see? And I love these tournaments because you see some of the best players in the world going head to head in off-spawn fights just like this. When it comes to NA West, not sure who's the player to beat. I know Xenon got first place in this most recent one, but I'm just kind of waiting for at least 3-4 weeks to kind of pass by. It's a region I think that has a lot to prove in terms of individual skill, and they have a lot of like kind of that mindset where if somebody shoots me or if somebody lands at my drop spawn, I'm going to chase them around. I'm going to make sure they don't qualify. So I'm really interested to see how West plays out. I don't have too much depth. I didn't see too many of the solo series play out on this region, so I know that's kind of a moot point to add to the video, but it's just to let you know my eyes will be locked on this next solo series for NA West, so I can have a little bit more information and break down the region overall. But most importantly, the announcement for the Mr. Savage Icon Skin, their Mr. Savage Icon Skin Cup, the Twitch Rivals Mr. Savage event. There's so much going down. They're giving him the Clix treatment, the Nick at 30 treatment, and he is deserving of this skin. He is one of the biggest Fortnite competitive and content creators in the entire world, in the entire history of the game. He's won a DreamHack Anaheim so long ago, so he's one of those guys, so I think he deserves the skin. And I don't think it's negative in any way. Just because he's getting a skin doesn't mean somebody else is not getting a skin. So I still expect maybe the typical gamers, the Aussie Antics, the Courage, or maybe somebody else to get some skins in the same time frame as well. It usually does take a year, maybe 6 months from what I hear for some of these skins. So a lot of your favorite creators might already be getting some creator icon skins made. We just may not know about it yet. This one comes with 3 different styles. It comes with back blings. It comes with emotes. There is a full bundle. Instead of calling it an icon skin, it's the Mr. Savage Icon Bundle. That's how much it really does have to offer. I don't know which version I'm going to be using yet when I do eventually get this skin, but I'm definitely going to be looking at who's going to be playing in the cup. Will you guys be playing in the cup? Let me know in the comments below if you're going to be playing in the cup, and if you maybe come back and you got the skin from the cup, let me know in the comments below. But that's going to do it for me in this video. Let me know what you guys think about everything that we talked about today in the comments. Make sure to leave a like, and as always, subscribe, because it really does help the channel grow. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Beep beep.